I guess I've been in a teaching mood. What do you want me to say?
Let's go.
What's up everybody, Kier here, and today we're doing another tutorial, another cardistry tutorial, because as it turns out, you guys enjoy those. Today we're gonna be teaching you one that is a favorite over here on the Kier Gomes channel, one that you've seen me do in many videos and will continue to see me do because it is just so damn satisfying. I'm talking of course about the Frivol Two Cascade. It is a two-part flourish that you can do with a deck of cards, and what I love most about it is it kind of relies on the idea of gravity. It does require some gripping and some hand motions. However, this is a flourish that I really love because the cards do most of the work and you just kind of have to catch them wherever they fall. It looks really good. It's a good way to impress your friends, but it's also a very effective, one of the most effective ways to properly shuffle a deck of cards in terms of shuffling them to make the order random, not shuffling them as a separate technique. Whatever, you guys get the idea. If you want to learn this flourish, please do drop a like on this video before we get started and go grab your favorite deck because it's time to get into it. Let's go. Let's go. And for today's example, we are going to be using the Slow Hands Tortoise Backs. Definitely one of my favorite decks. If you don't know about this deck, this is a deck produced by myself and my buddy Nick Nisco. This was the second one in the series, and so far, in my opinion, the best one. So if you guys don't have these, by the way, you know, link in description. All right, so there's really only one prerequisite for doing this move. Like I said, this is extremely easy to do. It's a little bit of a knack at first, but seriously, once you get going, it's fairly simple. The only prerequisite is you are gonna need to know how to do a Pharaoh with the deck of cards. If you're not familiar with the Pharaoh, just to give you a real quick overview, basically you are breaking the deck into two even packets and weaving the cards one for one so that in the end, they are just like that, okay? So you want the cards to be perfectly pharaohed. Pharaoh shuffling does take a while, so if you don't know how to do it, I would recommend take some time, go learn how to do that, and then come back to this tutorial because you're gonna wanna be able to get a perfect one-for-one Pharaoh shuffle. You can see I missed one in the middle there. You see that? Definitely make sure that you have your Pharaoh shuffles down. If you can Pharaoh the cards like this, then you are good to go. All right, now this first move is called Friffle. So you guys have definitely seen this before. If not on my channel, then any other channel on YouTube. But the Friffle is this first part and it looks like this. So you're kind of holding the cards like that and you're dropping them like that. Now that is called Friffle, which is very fun to say, but even more fun to execute. So you do your Pharaoh shuffle. Now for me, I like to leave just about a ½ inch of overlap, and that's my comfortable spot. And the reason you want it to be in a comfortable spot for you is because in order to make these cards fall, you're gonna hold the cards like this. So you've got your pinky, your ring finger, and your middle on the bottom. You've got your index finger kind of curled onto the top, and then you've got your thumb along the edge, and essentially you're just gonna be doing that. But if you do it when you're holding the cards downward, they fall down. Once you get into position, so you're here, you leave some room. Now you're gonna regrip. What you're gonna do is you're gonna kind of square up the cards with your left hand. So after you've done your Pharaoh, you're gonna come in with your left hand and kind of just square up the cards. So you're holding it like that, so you can regrip with your right hand. Like I said, the grip is just gonna be, majority of your fingers are gonna be along the bottom edge. You're gonna have your index finger curled on the back of the deck, and then you're gonna have your thumb along the edge, ready to do that, okay? Now when you hold the cards, they're not gonna fall if you have them in there tight enough. If they're in there too loose, they will start falling early, which means you have to start catching them early. But now all you need to do is just start from the bottom. In this case, you're gonna start towards you and riffle outwards, and that is gonna cause the cards to fall down. Now you wanna be careful when you're dropping the cards because at first, definitely what's gonna happen is multiple cards are gonna fall, and they're gonna fall from random parts of this upper piece of the deck. They're gonna come from like the middle and the front, but they're not gonna come one by one from the back. That takes time, and really it's the same level of sensitivity that you need to use for the playing card dribble. It's the same kind of like thumb finesse that you need. You just need to be able to gently apply that pressure to make the cards fall. And then that leaves you kind of in this position for Cascade. So real quick, one more time, that's Pharaoh. We're gonna do a nice perfect weave. Leave about a ½ inch. Regrip, okay? Give yourself time. and get ready to catch. So now your thumb is ready to riffle. These cards are going to fall. So your left hand is going to be similar to catching cards in a dribble or a spring. It's just going to be kind of open and ready to receive these cards. What I would recommend at first is just get used to doing that motion of doing the Pharaoh and re-gripping and setting up your hand right under it. Now, keep your hand close at first because the cards are going to fall and they're going to be hard to control. And you ultimately want to have as much control over this packet as possible so you can re-grip and do whatever you have to do next. And you want to be gentle with the thumb riffle, okay? Very, very gentle. In fact, it's better to go slow and just get used to going like that, nice and slowly, because then when you go to do it fast, it's going to be a lot easier. Look at this mess. All right, now before we move on to the next part of the move, let's do it one more time together, okay? So Pharaoh the cards, nice and perfect. Leave a 1/2 inch, re-grip. And at first we're gonna go very slow, okay? So just slowly let those cards go. Now we can get into Cascade, which comes right from where we're at right now. All right, so now we are in this position and we need to re-grip to get into Cascade. And this is gonna be super easy to re-grip. All you have to do is just put your pinky on the bottom here, put your index finger in between these two packets on the top, put your thumb on the other side. So you're holding the cards like this, basically. All right, now the second part is called Cascade, and that is definitely my favorite part of this Flourish. It's just so satisfying. I love the way it looks. I love the way it sounds. You guys know if you watch my videos, I can't get enough of it. So it's Friffle, and then for the re-grip, again, we're just gonna put our pinky on the bottom, put our index in the middle, put our thumb over there, okay? And now we're gonna use our right hand just below, and all you're doing with the Cascade, now that you're holding the cards like this, is you're gonna gently lift up this finger, which is kind of like a pin that's holding these together. As soon as you lift it up, these two cards are going to want to fall, and the rest of the cards are going to fall with them. The important thing here is making sure that you're holding the right amount of pressure, because if you're holding too tight, the cards will fall too slow or in clumps. You don't want that. You want it to be a nice, consistent flow of cards. So you want to gently release the pressure here, and sometimes you can even release pressure with your thumb and pinky as well and get the cards really moving fast. Now, what I love about this Flourish, and I think I mentioned it already, is that it's kind of just based on gravity. All you're really doing is giving the cards the push, but they're really just falling into the order that we put them in. And I really, really like the way that looks because it looks so effortless. It almost looks like your hands are not really moving and the cards are doing all of the work. And I really, really like that idea. All right, so let's put it all together. It's a Pharaoh. Okay, get a nice Pharaoh. About a 1/2 inch there. Re-grip, nice and slow. Friffle. And now that we've gone from Friffle, we're gonna go into Cascade. So we're gonna push the cards together. We're gonna re-grip. And remember, this index is kind of acting as a pin, so now as soon as we lift it up, these cards are gonna start going. Now this, of course, always works better with newer cards. Like this deck was not shuffled when I started this tutorial, and it makes everything a lot easier. The cards still have a lot of that air cushion on them, you know, or a lot of that finish that makes them nice and slippery, so the cards are moving nice and smooth. And that's ultimately what you want. However, you can do this with an extremely clumpy deck. It truly does not matter. It's more about the physics of the Flourish and finding what's working. It's less about the condition of the cards. So for those of you that are out there using horrible, terribly worn decks of cards, I completely feel you. However, you do not need new cards to do this move. Just to prove it, I've got here a very worn, very used deck of organic playing cards, Peelers V1. Breaking this out for the likes. If you guys like this deck, like the video, okay? There you go. All right, so that is how you guys do the move. One more time, guys. Pharaoh. Leave a 1/2 inch for yourself, okay? Slow Friffle. Re-grip. And just let the cards fall into your right hand. And that is how you do the Frivol to Cascade. There you go. And now you guys know the secret to the Frivol and Cascade, one of the easiest but most satisfying to do card flourishes out there. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I'm thinking about next doing kind of a more advanced way of doing Cascade, getting into things like Water Bend or that other one where the cards just fly forward. Still some stuff I gotta figure out, and the only way that I can do those tutorials is if you guys like this tutorial, because of course, if you like this one, then I know that I should make more. So help me out by dropping a like, help yourself out by subscribing, and of course, let's help everybody out by having a great rest of our day. All right, well, I'll see you guys later. Bye.